Hi there. Thank you for joining me on what is it today, day 5. Everything was a rush again. Let me just get the mic closer. There we go. So I hope you had a good day today. Today is Thursday. Yay, tomorrow is Friday. Yes, can't wait for the weekend, but apparently our weather is going to be very cold. Anyways, right. So today we will be talking about foods that bloat you. Now, I'll just tell a quick story. Even on keto, I went to the gym, but I put on this big t-shirt because I felt bloated. And you can't go with something that's tight. And I was always like, why on keto? What's wrong with me? So then I discovered FODMAPs. And okay, so I realized that raw cabbage is not my friend and I get bloated from it. So I'm just gonna put this quick video on for you discussing bloating. So let me just add this. From a Uber Keto diet. Today we'll be discussing the top foods that bloat you. If you're suffering from the following symptoms, IBS, constipation, bloating, gas, or abdominal pain, then you need to watch this presentation now, even if you have these symptoms on a ketogenic diet. Now, most carbs are broken down in the small intestine and can be absorbed. However, some short-chain carbs cannot be absorbed in the small intestine. These are FODMAPs. FODMAPs are a group of fermentable carbs that aggravate gut symptoms in sensitive people. FODMAP stands for fermentable oligodimonosaccharides and polyols. The presence of the FODMAPs in your small intestine causes water to be dragged into the small intestine because they are osmotically active, which may contribute to diarrhea for some people, and for some people, bloating. The FODMAPs travel through the gut to the large intestine because they cannot be absorbed. In the large intestine, the FODMAPs get fermented and used as fuel by gut bacteria. The bacteria that feed on FODMAPs produce hydrogen, which may lead to gas, bloating, stomach cramps, pain, and constipation. Now you have excess gas production and water retention. This in turn causes your intestines to expand, and that's where you feel so uncomfortable. I know, I've been there. If you haven't done so, please download our food list. The link is in the description. Now these are all you can eat, limit yourself, and avoid. So those are for a keto diet. Even if you follow a keto diet, there are certain foods that are on the all you can eat list and the limit yourself list, which may be causing problems for you. Now let's have a look at what they could be. Could one of the following be the guilty ones in your situation? Now, vegetables: artichokes, asparagus, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Now cabbage is a problem for me. That's why I make sauerkraut, which is great for gut health and it's a fantastic probiotic. Cauliflower, celery, fennel, garlic, leeks, mushrooms, okra. Mushrooms also, oof, that's a terrible one. So I just avoid mushrooms at all costs. Okra, onions, shallots, and snow peas. Fruits, those would be cherries and blackberries. Then also for some people, dairy products are a huge concern because they contain lactose. So we don't drink milk on a keto diet, so I'm just mentioning that. And then sour cream, soft cheese, yogurt, and cottage cheese. And a sweetener, that would be xylitol. Also remember, pets cannot have xylitol. Your drinks, that would be alcohol. So if you have this problem, what should you do? So you can restrict. If you suspect that it could be cabbage, leave it out of your diet for a while and see if it goes better. So you take out the foods. You can take out all the foods if you want to and see if you feel better. And then eventually after a few weeks, say 2 to 3, you can reintroduce and see how you feel. Now, if you don't feel better and the bloating, cramps, etc. come back, then obviously you need to avoid these foods. But you can also, let's say for example, you can't tolerate cabbage. You can try, if you really want to eat cabbage, you can try and reintroduce a small size and see how you feel and just increase until you see, okay, you can only have so much. That's another option. Right, so I really enjoyed making this video for you. If you know anybody who would find this information helpful, please share it with them so we can revolutionize our health and help one another. I know it sucks to lose weight and correct health, but pure bliss when you succeed, wouldn't you agree? Personally, I wouldn't attempt just any keto diet without having a proven step-by-step guide to follow. And this is especially true if you want to save time, money, and frustration. I mean it. That is why we at My Uber Keto Diet created a ratio-based 28 28-day meal plan customized to your individual needs. And this, my friend, is the cornerstone of a successful keto diet. You are unique. A one-size-fits-all approach does not work. Click on the link in the description and join us today, and I will see you on the inside.
Okay, so I hope that makes sense. The FODMAPs and why you could possibly be suffering from bloating. Right, so now I want to continue with how to read your food labels. So I will have to share again. Hopefully today the tech team and situations will go much, much better. So, yes, let's see. Right, so how to read labels. Oh, I just went on Amazon and just looked at a few things, and I want you to note because I never actually realized this. Actually, cranberries aren't as sweet as they seem. Now, this package, you can see organic cranberries. Oh, that's awesome. Cranberries, yum, and a lot of, especially the grannies. Now, they know that I'm very fussy about my kids eating, whatever stuffies and so on. And I'm like, no, not this, no sugar, not this. But then they want to feed them cranberries. And I'm like, no, come on. That's maybe even worse than sugar. So ingredients, organic dried cranberries, organic cane sugar, organic expeller, pressed sunflower seed oil, adds a trivial amount of total fat per serving. Right. May contain tree nuts or coconuts. So if we have a look over here, the nutrition facts. So they say about 6 servings per container. So the serving size is a third cup, 40 grams. Remember, this isn't the whole package. This is serving sizes. So this information is 40 grams for 40 grams. So amount per serving, the calories would be 140. Always have a look at the calories. Then we move down to total carbohydrates, 33 grams per 40 grams. That is a lot. Now, the dietary fiber is 2 gram, total sugar 26, and added sugar 22 grams. They say if you eat the cranberries in the natural way, if they're dried, they taste so horrible. That's why they add so much sugar. Remember this. But anyways, this is not keto friendly at all. The total carbs, 40 grams would be way over your daily allowance. But now if you take a 30-gram salad or whatnot, it's so much more. Anyway, so I marked it. Okay, so you can see the 40 grams. Sorry, I forgot about that. And then the 33 grams of sugar. Sorry, total carbs. Right, so this is a keto mayo. And beware of the keto products. Read the labels. So often, it is quite high in carbs. Or, like, for example, nuts. Nuts should be eaten, every now and then. Cashew nut, especially, very high in carbs, where your pecan nuts or pecan nuts are lower. But just beware. A lot of people use almond flour in keto. Just beware, not every day, just once in a while. Right, so the ingredients, always check the ingredients. Keto and paleo approved, soy oil and canola oil free. That's music to my ears. Right, so in the ingredients, refined coconut oil. Those are your MCTs, egg yolks, water, distilled vinegar, salt, less than 1% mustard, organic rosemary extract. Mustard also is fine on keto, but just again, check the label. So as you can see, all the ingredients are keto friendly. Always check the ingredients. Right, then we move on to the serving size. It's 40 grams, and let's have a look. See, total carbs, 0. Absolutely 0. So this is good to eat, good to go. There you have it. I also gave you a recipe for mayonnaise in the free meal plan. Go check it out. Right, so 10 rules of my Uber Keto diet, just quickly. This is a high fat, moderate protein, and low carb diet. No sugar. Cold turkey is your key. However, if you want to transition slowly, then xylitol, stevia, and erythritol will be best. No artificial sweeteners. Number three, always choose real food. If there are no labels, yes, it's perfect. If there are labels, read them carefully and check for any hidden nasty ingredients. Number four, no grains. Number five, enjoy fat. The right fat is critical, mostly mono and saturated fats. This will fuel your fat burning. Number six, when in doubt, eat less carbs and eat more fat. Number seven, salt. 5,000 milligrams, 5 grams of sodium, which equals 12 grams of salt per day. I have drilled that into you for the last 4 days. Number nine, eggs are healthy, eat them. Number 10, enjoy the taste, variety, and satiety. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Skipping a meal is not the end of the world. I've not discussed that with you, but if you're not hungry, just don't eat. Okay, excellent. So the next thing we will be discussing, oh, something's gone wrong here, hey? Anyways, it's doubly, so we'll just have to go through this again. I wonder why. All right, sorry about that, ladies. Hormones that kill weight loss. Right, let's see. Insulin. So you've heard insulin, but let's just approach it from another angle. Chances are you have heard of this all important hormone before. However, it goes deeper than you might have contemplated. Let's be honest here, if you don't respect this hormone, this can and will get out of hand. When you eat carbs, your blood sugar glucose levels rise. Now there's glucose in your bloodstream and something needs to be done. Your pancreas secretes insulin. You see, if nothing is done about these high blood sugar levels, your smallest blood vessels can be damaged, especially the kidneys and eyes. That's why people who have diabetes often struggle with eye problems and the kidneys. So this is your pancreas, like the stomach, the hormones. So just have a look at that. Obviously, the higher the blood sugar levels, the more insulin is needed. And if your diet consists of a lot of and bad carbs, your pancreas need to work overtime. And think about it, 6 meals a day, it's bad news, especially for the kids. They get up in the morning, have a breakfast, let's say yogurt, cereal, orange juice. It's loaded with carbs. Then they go to school, they have a mid-morning snack, let's say a sandwich. The insulin gets spiked again. They have lunch, spiked again. Come home, have a snack, spiked again, dinner. You see, it doesn't work. It's a bad cycle. Sugar is first stored in the liver and muscle. An overload of sugar that can't be stored in the liver and muscle is converted to triglycerides to be stored as, yeah, you guessed it, fat. Higher blood sugar, higher insulin, higher visceral fat equals belly fat. Now, if the glucose isn't used up immediately, this is what happens: belly fat. Insulin is a fat storing hormone. Basically, your insulin is your defense mechanism against carbs. So, what you want to do is avoid these bad carbs so your pancreas won't need to work so hard. So, I think sometimes people think insulin is such a bad thing, but your poor body, wants to help you. And then all the insulin gets a bad rap. Over time, some people develop insulin resistance. So, you get insulin sensitivity, that's a good thing, and then insulin resistance. Now imagine a house. This is our muscle cell. Now the insulin has the key to the house to store the glucose. However, the key now doesn't work anymore and the insulin cannot unlock the door. So the cell has built up a resistance to the insulin. Now blood sugar rises and the next best place to store the glucose is the fat cells, who will welcome the sugar with open arms. Again, this usually is the fat around the belly. That is why the carbohydrate wheat is so bad for you. Is there one meal a day, including snack? snacks that isn't loaded with wheat. Hmm. Overproduction of insulin leads to weight gain, especially belly fat, diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is reversible if you can control your insulin levels with a healthy diet, aka keto, aging, acne. Right, can you fix this? Yes, you can. Avoid food that will elevate your insulin levels, especially sugar and bad carbs. Exercise will also help to burn up the sugars and build new muscle. Cortisol. Mark my words, this hormone, cortisol, is often completely forgotten on the weight loss radar. It's also referred to as the stress hormone. So, if you experience stress and anxiety, your body pumps out cortisol. Cortisol has three major functions. It helps control blood sugar levels. Your body needs extra energy to deal with stress, helps control blood pressure as it goes up or it goes up. That's why you feel your heartbeat in your ears when you are in a stressful situation. It helps reduce inflammation when cortisol levels are normal. All right. So here, this is where our cortisol comes from, the adrenal glands just above the kidneys. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal cortex, which is the outer part of the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are on top of your kidneys. Let's just have a look at that again. I always find it easier to remember stuff if there are pictures. I love pictures. So just bear with me here. As mentioned, you need a lot of energy. So your cortisol will break down fat, muscle, and tissue to achieve this. Well, isn't that good, you might be asking? Well, no, not really. You see, muscle and bone are the main targets to break down for energy. And the worst part is that cortisol will also want to replace the lost energy. And how's this done? Your appetite increases. This is where people tend to eat unhealthy food, making the situation far worse. Continuously high cortisol levels are dangerous because it stimulates deposition of visceral fat. Now, in this day and age, stress seems to be really a bad thing. Let's apply this biology into a practical situation. Sally drives home from a really stressful job. Things were really bad at the office. Already her cortisol levels are high. Now she's stuck in peak time traffic. The light turns green and she is ready to drive. All of a sudden, some pompous idiot nearly rams her off the road because she skipped the freaking red robot. I mean, her adrenal glands pump out more cortisol and her energy levels go up. Her heartbeat sounds up in her ears. Under normal circumstances, you would run to shed the excess energy. Like in the wild when you are chased by a hungry bear, your cortisol kicks in and you run for your life. Now, Sally won't get rid of the excess energy and it will be transferred back as visceral fat. Plus, she will eat the sweet temptations on the car seat next to her. So it is evident that this stress hormone is bad news for weight loss. But wait, there's more. If you eat, your brain releases endorphins. Endorphins make you feel happy, especially if you eat carbohydrates. Now, as you know, cortisol will stimulate your appetite. You eat and your brain says, hey, here are some endorphins. Problem is that if you feel stressed, you will eat because you feel better. And this is a vicious cycle which you want to avoid when you want to shed those extra pounds. Here's the kicker. You know that finances, relationships, work, traffic, etc., all add to stress. Now, some people endure long-term and continuous stress, and this may lead to weight loss resistance. How is this possible, you might wonder? Think back 6,000 years or so. The human wasn't under continual stress and anxiety. Yes, sure, beer here and there. But as mentioned, they would run their behinds off and be done with the stressful situation. The only really significant stress factor for those people was famine. So when they were producing cortisol due to this, the body would store food and hold on to any reserves the body had to prepare for hard times ahead. So, in modern times, when your cortisol levels are constantly high, your body will hold onto that fat, making weight loss somewhat of a difficult situation. Last but not least, some people experience adrenal fatigue. This is where your body cannot keep up with the demand of producing cortisol and it just gives up. How can you control your cortisol levels? You need good quality sleep, exercise, Follow my Uber Keto diet to maintain good blood sugar levels. Do not drink excessive amounts of caffeine. Meditate to get rid of stress. Ghrelin. If you feel those hunger pains coming along, you know that ghrelin has been doing its work. Leptin, as discussed, will tell you when you are satiated, whereas ghrelin will make you feel hungry again. We spoke about leptin yesterday for the sleep situation. So we encounter these hormones once again, don't we? Right. So when your stomach is empty, the lining will produce ghrelin. It goes into your blood all the way up through the blood brain barrier and then straight to the hypothalamus. In this case, the ghrelin will activate the neuropeptide Y. After you have had a delicious meal, your stomach fills up and your body has had all the good nutrients. Ghrelin levels will drop again. Here's something else. During the first 90 minutes of sleep, ghrelin stimulates the release of growth hormone, and this happens in the pituitary gland. This growth hormone helps to burn fat and builds muscle. Oops. Let's continue. People who have sleep deprivation have high ghrelin levels, which leads to a higher appetite, and in turn, people eat more than their body needs. Listen, people who tend to go on diets frequently also have ghrelin imbalances. That is why you don't need a diet. You have to have a healthy lifestyle. You know, like that yo-yo business when you see, okay, this one isn't working and you drop it and you move on to the next one. I think it's safe to say most of us have had that experience. So, glucagon. Right, now let's get your feet wet with this next hormone, glucagon. If this hormone were white, then insulin would be black. They work together. The one storing fat, insulin, and the other releasing fat for energy, glucagon. However, they are never present at the same time. This is an awesome hormone, wouldn't you agree? Glucagon, yay. Glucagon, like insulin, is created in the pancreas but is secreted by the alpha cells, whereas insulin is secreted by the beta cells. So insulin and glucagon are synthesized in the pancreatic islet cells. So there you can see, it's quite amazing, wouldn't you think? If you eat glucose, your pancreas will release insulin. However, if you haven't consumed any food and your blood sugar levels are low, your body will produce glucagon. The glucagon will then release stored glucose from the liver and fatty acids from your fatty tissue. Blazingly obvious that you want this hormone to do its work, right? Now, can you imagine if you eat carbs the whole day? Your body will be releasing insulin and there won't be a chance for your glucagon to work its magic. That's why people on low-fat diets struggle to lose weight. They are never completely satiated after their low-fat meals and nibble on food the whole day long. As mentioned before, you need good fat to control this dynamic cycle of insulin and glucagon. So don't be a victim of insulin overproduction and let these two hormones work in harmony. Leptin. People who want to lose weight often overlook this important hormone, which controls your appetite and metabolism. This hormone was only discovered in 1994. Can you imagine, guys? I mean, that's like only a few years back. This hormone controls your appetite and metabolism. Surprisingly, this hormone is found in, wait for it, your fat cells of all places. Now, listen to this. Leptin essentially controls mammalian metabolism. Most people think that it's the job of the thyroid, but leptin actually controls the thyroid, which regulates the rate of metabolism. Leptin oversees all energy stores. Leptin decides whether to make us hungry and store more fat or burn fat. Leptin orchestrates our inflammatory response and can even control sympathetic versus parasympathetic arousal in the nervous system. If any part of your hormonal system is awry, including the adrenal or sex hormones, you will never have a prayer of truly resolving those issues until you have brought your leptin levels under control. That's nutritional therapist Nora T. Gidgodas in her book Primal Body, Primal Mind. So let's see how it works. You just had a delicious meal. The moment your fat cells are satiated, they release leptin. The leptin travels to your hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is situated in your brain, and this controls your appetite. So there we go. You can see your hypothalamus and the pituitary gland just start by the pink and the brown. Now the leptin will attach to the leptin receptors in the hypothalamus. These receptors will either increase or decrease the production of neuropeptides. Back to the delicious meal. In this case, the leptin will turn the neuropeptide Y off. You won't have an appetite and your metabolism increases. Think about all of this for a moment because I'm going to ask you a question. Good. Let's continue. Do overweight people have higher or lower leptin levels? Lower, obviously. I know common sense is defied here because scientists discovered that the leptin levels in overweight people was high. But how? Easy, because a lot of people eat refined carbs, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, low fat foods. In short, food with absolutely no nutritional value at all. The body thinks it is starving, and you guessed it, people eat more. This is where insulin gets spiked and fat storage takes place. As you can see, this is a vicious and nasty cycle, making weight loss impossible. And these people, whoever they think they are, advise us and our kids to eat more wheat and more processed foods. Leptin resistance. So, like with insulin resistance, you get leptin resistance. Just okay, just like insulin resistance creates the stage for diabetes, leptin resistance sets the stage for weight loss resistance. If your leptin levels are constantly high, your receptors will eventually burn out and not listen to your body, and you will be hungry all the time. You will not be able to stop eating no matter what. If you have too many carbs in your diet, which elevate triglyceride levels, it will cause leptin resistance. So there is a study. The problem is that there is no quick fix for leptin resistance, not even a magic pill. So signs of leptin resistance: being overweight, no results from exercise, cravings for comfortable foods, comfort foods, cannot keep losing weight off. Oh my goodness. Fatigue after a meal, anxiety and stress, snack after meals, hungry at odd hours, osteoporosis, problems with sleeping, hypertension, sugar cravings, inflammation. The only way you can reverse this horrible situation is to eat a healthy diet, keto, and with some good quality sleep. Human growth hormone, yay! So, the human growth hormone, also known as HGH, is very important for your overall health. Sometimes it is also referred to as the fountain of youth hormone. However, after the age of 20, the production of this hormone declines. The growth hormone is produced by the pituitary gland in the brain. Let me just see how I'm doing on time. So what does HGH do? Let me just see the time. All right. I just need to see how long the coaching has been going on. Sorry, I'm just asking. I don't want the time, just how long the video is going on for. Ist das, was ich überhaupt? Ja, das Okay, so sag mich so, just tell me in 15 minutes about. So what does HGH do? Increases muscle mass, helps your body to absorb amino acids, builds muscle, prevents muscle breakdown, reduces fat storage, keeps you fit. Many people are lacking in HGH, mostly because of their body fat. Body fat is a great inhibitor of the HGH production. The more body fat you have, the lower your HGH will be. HGH keeps a good metabolism, and that's why it's harder to lose weight when you are already overweight. It also reduces fat storage by reducing the hormone insulin's ability to put sugar into your cells. Interesting fact, when you fast, your HGH levels rise up to 1,300%. For centuries, people have used fasting to promote longevity. So we will be talking about that on Saturday. Factors which reduce your HGH levels include alcohol, too much insulin, so carbs again are bad, stress, toxins, high blood sugar, high cortisol levels, not enough sleep. And now another reason you need sleep so badly is because the highest production of HGH takes place during the first 90 minutes of sleep, as we discussed yesterday. Now, if you suffer from the following, you need some adjustments: sagging skin, thinning bones, buildup of body fat, thinning hair, depression, anxiety, fatigue, low libido, and low immunity. Once again, the hidden secret is to eat healthy, get good sleep, fasting, and just adjust your lifestyle. No pill will cure you from hormonal balances without side effects. I think that's a hole nobody wants to go into. Right, your thyroid. Let's see what's up with the thyroid. The thyroid is the largest endocrine gland that produces hormones in the body. It's quite if you think about it, it's amazing. The important gland is vital to the functioning of your metabolism, but also fat metabolism, muscle and nerve action, protein regulation, tissue repair, heat and energy production, digestion, improves thinking abilities, boosts your immune system. Your thyroid is located in the front part of your neck and is butterfly shaped. So you can see in the picture that's where your thyroid is. It's actually quite small if you think how much it really does. In order for you to lose weight, your metabolism has to be functioning, and this is controlled by your thyroid. The most important hormone of the thyroid is thyroxine, T4. Tongue twister T3 is produced by the thyroid in smaller amounts. Because there is so much T4 available, your kidneys and liver will convert the T4 to T3. T3 is 5 times more active than T4. Thus, it is important that this conversion happens for a good working metabolism. The 3 and 4 refer to the number of iodine molecules in each thyroid hormone molecule. So if your metabolism is too slow or too fast, you may have one, either hypothyroidism, that's an underactive thyroid. So let's see what happens then. You may experience the following if you have an underactive thyroid: weight gain, low body temperature, fatigue, slow heartbeat, high triglyceride levels, dry skin and hair, baldness, menstrual problems, depression, constipation. Most common reason for this condition is that the thyroid gland does not make enough thyroid hormone. Sufferers have an extreme slowdown in metabolism. Hypothyroidism is an autoimmune disease, which means the body produces antibodies, attacks the thyroid gland, and you end up making less thyroid hormones. This is also called Hashimoto's thyroiditis and is much more prevalent in women. It is interesting to note that there's a very strong connection between thyroid antibodies and gluten sensitivity. Most people who cut out gluten in their diets experience stabilization in their metabolism. 2. Hypothyroidism, overactive thyroid. You may experience the following if you have an overactive thyroid: weight loss, bulging eyes, diarrhea, dizziness, fatigue, insomnia, heart palpitations. Leptin also works hand in hand with your thyroid. In ancient times, when the body started starvation in the face, when your body stared starvation in the face, your leptin levels would drop and accordingly, your thyroid would slow down metabolism. If you have insulin or leptin resistance and you are overweight, your thyroid is not working well and will keep your weight high because it thinks that your leptin levels are low. It's complicated. Once again, if you want a balanced hormonal system, follow a healthy lifestyle. Right, so we have come to the end of this presentation. Let me just see what's going on here. All right, just click on this one. Right, I'm back again. I don't know, the lighting is funny. My hair looks purple pink. It's so strange. Anyways, right, so I hope that helped you. I'm also actually just busy working on hormonal issues for women, especially. You know, it's strange how the hormones, can totally have your body out of whack. So I hope that you did actually, after we looked through the 7-day meal plans, that you actually had a look at it and started to cook, follow the recipes. I'd really like to know if you enjoy them, or some advice or questions or whatever you want to ask. That would be so great. And I know that you are here for the challenge, and it's because you know that you are destined for better things in life. That the visions we spoke about in day one, do you remember? And they are within your reach. No matter what doubt might creep in, what fears you have, what other people think of you, you want to lose weight, and I'm here to serve you. You know the VIP experience is for you. So we all have to start somewhere. So why are you on this challenge? Think about it. Is it to create enhanced opportunity? What is enhanced opportunity? The ability to be more, feel more, lose more weight, feel better, just absolutely be more. The fastest path to losing weight is with this program and what I shared with you so far. So I'm going to share with you the single biggest factor that is likely to create or negate the success for you. Someone who wants to move forward. You want to move forward. I mean, you are here for a reason. You do not want to regress. Let me say this again. The single biggest factor that is likely to create or negate the ability to be successful, it all comes down to, I believe, is one thing. And this thing is overcoming objections. This is something that I live, breathe, eat, sleep. I do this every day. What I literally do every day is help women lose weight and get them into the best shape of their lives. I believe in my product. I know it works. But do you believe in yourself? So again, the single biggest factor that is negating your ability to be successful is, how do I find the time to do it? How do I find the money to do it? How do I get my spouse on board? How do I overcome the fear of doing it? How do I overcome the shame and self-doubt? If we are really being honest here, at the end of the day, what's keeping me from making decision? What's keeping me in paralysis analysis? The thing that is actually holding you back, your reason not to, is actually your reason to. Let's talk about that for a second. Let me just check, how are we on time? Okay, is that left? Okay. I just want to ask you a really quick question. Can I go level 5 with you? Just say yes, Vivian, that's fine. Let's just do level 5. But wait, before you agree to it, do you know, let me tell you what a level 5 conversation is for all of those who weren't in the conversation in the first day. A level 5 is, I'm going to get real with you, like a friend over a cup of coffee, and you're like, Vivian, shoot it to me straight. If you're ready for that, then go level 5. I'm giving you permission. Are you giving me permission to go level 5? Okay. I will go level 5. I'm going to be super honest with you. You're going to get right with yourself if you're going to be successful. Time is a continuum. I don't have time to do it. We're all fairly comfortable saying, "Oh, I don't have the time to do this," right? But what I really want you to think about is, are you working three jobs just to have a roof over your head? Or is it more like tennis on Saturday, coffee at Starbucks on Friday, cutting some time on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube? Or maybe I should put in some time in the weekend. Maybe I should get up a little earlier or go to bed a little later, not jeopardizing your sleep, hey? Where do you fall on the continuum of time? Because time is relative. How are you showing up in the moment? So if you're saying, I don't have time to do it, and listen, people are pretty comfortable saying that. I wish I could. I just don't have the time. Everybody's all in. Like, who said I'm in? Who said I'm in? Until it's time to make a decision, like, well, I'd love to or do it. Vivian, just don't have the right time right now. Vivian, I just don't have the time right now. So, where do you fall on that continuum? And then a level deeper than that is money. I don't have the money to do it. Not a minute ago. No, I'm all in, but then it comes down to making a decision. It's like, are you committed, or is it all about what's convenient? I'm committed to do this no matter what. I will find the money, or well, I have the money, I'll do it. You realize that it doesn't look that right now. When I have the money, I'll spend the money. You realize you have to spend it. So let's talk about that for a second, because money is also a continuum. Uh, and living in my car, I can't afford to put food on the table. Yeah, that's a bit different, but this is an uncomfortable conversation. I wasn't planning to spend that money right now. If I were really committed, if this literally wasn't an expense, if this was an investment with an ROI, if I could really get a return on this investment, well, it turns out it's not actually an expense, it's an investment. Starbucks is an expense, a cappuccino maker is an investment, meaning something that we spend that we can use to do something over and over and get good results. So if you're making an investment right now, and that's where it's going to allow you to lose weight and get in the best shape of your life and keeping the weight off forever, it is a smart expense. Is it a smart expense, or is it a really smart investment? Where do you fall on that continuum? Now, listen, if you truly don't have the money and it's going to jeopardize putting food on the table, I recommend you wait safely. You put safety first for you and for your family. But if you get real with yourself and we have a level 5 conversation, and there's a chance that it's just uncomfortable, or that you're going to have to stretch, or this is really going to be beyond your normal comfort zone, or you're going to have an uncomfortable conversation, you really need to be thinking about that, because there's ROI and then there's COI. So the cost of inaction. And, you have to think about those two. It's up to you. Investing in yourself and in your life, in the life of your dreams, in your movement, in your vision, in your children to be better, be more. That vision we discussed on day one. Every time I'm making a big leap, every time I'm making a big investment, what's the ROI and what's the COI? Return on investment and cost of inaction. And here's the thing, when COI really hits home, when you really get what cost of inaction is, when that lands for you, and you realize all the dollars you left on the table, for example, if you lost out on a business investment, because a day became a week became a month became a quarter became a year, and a year became a decade. Now you look back and you're like, everyone's gone so far. All those lucky people have done amazing things, and I'm still stuck exactly where I am. Then I realized, the difference between them and me is they took committed action. They chose commitment over convenience. They invested in themselves, and I'm still stuck right where I was, because for the average person, we need accountability and community and enhanced opportunity to be more, to do more, have more, and make more. because it is hard to build that muscle by ourselves. You know, these small habits become successes. That's why you invest to be surrounded by someone who can give you repetition, immersion, and mastery. So let's have that uncomfortable conversation. So here's what's most important, because some of you might be in the same position as I was. I said that time, money, spouse, fear, shame, and self doubt are what most likely is going to hold you back. The spouse conversation is real. And this is what this comes down to. And this is if you're investing $95 to $2,000 to $3,000, because the stakes get bigger as you get bigger. But the conversation stays the same. And it's this: you've got to learn to ask for support, not permission. So often, when we're going to a life partner, a business partner, or even a family member, and we're asking for them to weigh in on a considerably big decision, and they're actually not qualified to weigh in on, yet we're asking them to weigh in on our big life decision, and then we're shocked when they don't get it. You know, my vision is not your vision. Here's the thing I want you to know: when you go to someone, regardless of who it is, a sister, friend, mother, brother, spouse, significant other, business partner, and you say, I'm thinking about doing this thing. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I'd like to do it. It's kind of expensive. I don't know. Do you think I should? I mean, I don't really have the money. I know we talked about it. I know that, like, we decided I should spend any more money on this weight loss thing. Do you think I should invest? And they're like, no, do not do it. Stop this craziness. You cannot blame them for that, because the way you went to them dictated the response you got. No one can make a decision on your dream. Nobody. Only you can give yourself permission. So you have to go to them instead of saying, hey, I need a minute of your time. I need you to focus. I hope you can see I'm more clear than I've ever been in a really long time. And I know I'm meant for this. And I know it's hard to understand, but I need to invest in myself. I need to figure out how to do it from someone who really already knows. I need to be surrounded by people like me who already succeeded. And if you will support me in this, I will reward you by showing up, doing something special for you, acting, making your special dinner, going on a good date night, whatever floats your boat. Showing up fully on, just do it. So, think about that. The excuse of time, there is always time. You can always squeeze in something. You just, well, right. So here's the thing, and this is a level 5 tough love conversation. If you were going to stretch it, you were truly going to make this change, there are going to be times when you fail, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to fear it. Just embrace the past mistakes. Just forget about them. This is a new beginning for you. And this is going to work. So if you finally want to break out of the endless dieting cycle, just cut a check and join the VIP experience. I'm waiting for you here. It's going to be so much fun working with like-minded people. I've really enjoyed doing these 4 days with you. And I trust that you really, really got some good information. There's nothing holding you back at the moment. So I will be talking about fasting and anti-aging on Saturday. So thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun, and I will see you again on Saturday. Thank you, guys.